G'day guys, here with Jacob Schepis, and today we're going to talk about Contest Prep 101. And I wanted to make an informative video for first-time competitors, as well as anybody who's competed before, to outline what I think needs to be considered before embarking in a contest prep and stepping on the bodybuilding, physique or fitness stage. Now, the first thing that you need to address is why you want to compete in the first place. I get emails every day and potential clients contact me all the time asking me to help them get on stage. And the reality is a lot of them are unaware as to the rigors of a contest prep, as well as what it means to actually get on stage. They think that it's going to be some form of means to an end, and they don't have the right reasons for wanting to compete. Individuals want to compete because they think that it's going to help them achieve their fat loss goals, when the reality is that a contest prep can often do more harm than good if it isn't approached with the right mentality and the right reasons underlying why you want to compete. The second thing that you must consider when you're embarking on a contest prep or you want to get on the bodybuilding or physique stage is time frames. Now, this is something that I see a lot of competitors really mess up. They either don't get lean enough, or they're not big enough for a certain category, and it's extremely important to map out and plan for in advance when you want to compete. Simply saying that there's a show in 12 weeks time, I'm going to diet down and get on stage, isn't good enough. Unless you just simply want to get on stage for the sake of getting on stage, I wouldn't recommend that. And if you're somebody who's serious about getting results, which you obviously are because you're watching this video, you must plan in advance. And this will typically be a period of 12 to 18 months planning. And I can use myself as an example. I want to get on stage in 2018, which is over 18 months away. I'm finishing a fat loss phase now, and then I'll have a 12-month off season, a 1-month pre-contest diet before I get into a 6-month contest prep. Now, that is the kind of planning and forethought that you need to put into your contest prep if you want to be successful. If you just want to get on stage, then disregard that and just do a diet and jump on stage and hope for the best. But if you really want to maximize your outcomes, you must plan in advance, and that requires identifying your starting point, knowing where you are now, how much body fat you have, how much you weigh, how many times a week you're training, what your current training program is looking to achieve, and things like this. Then identifying your end point, which is the stage, and what you need to do in between where you are now and where you want to be to ensure that you maximize your outcomes. This also requires you selecting a division and appropriately picking a division based on a number of factors, such as body fat percentages, muscularity, and also a division that you feel comfortable competing in. For example, if you're a female with an hourglass figure, unfortunately the fitness division has criteria that will probably work against that particular body shape. Similarly, if you're a guy who has really skinny legs and you want to do bodybuilding, unfortunately you may not place as well or be as competitive as what you'd like to be. You're probably more suited to the fitness model division or a physique division. So appropriately selecting a category is extremely important. And also understanding the difference in federations versus tested, untested, which federations have pro divisions and so forth. This will also influence your posing, and this is a critical element of getting on stage that I see far too many competitors and athletes forget and neglect. It's a sport. Bodybuilding, fitness, figure, physique, it is a sport. Yes, you may have the best set of abs, you may have the best physique, but I've seen so many competitors fail to place as they would have if they knew how to pose properly. So learn the poses and how to hit them correctly depending on which division you have selected. The next thing you need to address are your weak points. Now, this isn't just your physique. For example, those guys out there who have small calves and that's something that lets you down on the bodybuilding stage, I'm not just talking about the weak points in your muscularity. I'm talking about the weak points in your psychology as well as your lifestyle as well, because let's face it, bodybuilding is a 24/7 sport, and to excel and to be our best, we must be committed for the better part of 365 days in the year. Now, this also means what you're doing with your time outside of the gym? Are you maximizing recovery strategies? Is your social life impacting on your off-season gains? Things like this. Identifying areas and gaps in your training, in your diet, in your lifestyle, in your mindset that are going to affect your ability to perform and achieve the great outcome when you get on the stage. The fourth and final thing that you need to consider in a contest prep is the off-season and dedicating a period of time in developing your physique and ensuring that you have the framework necessary before you complete a contest prep, because it's important to understand, for those of you who haven't competed before, that you're not going to build any muscle in a contest prep. You will in fact lose muscle. And something you need to consider is that the contest prep is simply a fat loss phase. There is very minimal muscle building unless you're a beginner or you've gone to a better macronutrient split or a really good program and you're following a crappy program prior to this. So if you don't have the muscularity necessary to perform well in the division that you have selected, you need to spend time gaining muscle, and this means that you won't have abs as you would on stage. This means that you will potentially gain fat and you may feel a little bit sloppy, but it is an imperative component to a successful contest prep. And if you're looking to achieve any measure of success, both personally as well as on the stage when you compete, then you need to dedicate some time to the off season. And you also need to plan into your contest prep a pre-contest diet. And what this is simply setting yourself up for success when you enter the contest prep. It's very, very difficult to go from bulking straight into cutting and have the necessary habits and foundations set in place to do so. So they are the four things that must be taken into consideration when we're doing a contest prep. And a fifth and bonus topic that I want to discuss is the seriousness of a contest prep. When you embark on a contest prep, guys, you must realize that there are some negative consequences in doing so, both from a physiological point of view as well as a psychological point of view. Now, the physiological effects are very varying, but typically you're going to feel tired. You're going to be very hungry, you're going to be irritable, you're going to not tolerate people very well, which means that you must be aware of these things and communicate these things to those near and dear to you who are going to be affected by your contest prep journey. The psychological consequences of a contest prep are, again, varying to many degrees, but it's important to note that you will become more obsessive with food and your body image, and this can be quite detrimental post-contest to a lot of competitors, and is something to again be mindful of and be aware of, so that you are armed with the knowledge and the forethought necessary to tackle these kind of issues and problems when they arise. And make sure that you do talk about it. Don't keep it to yourself and sit in the cupboard binge eating alone, feeling like you're the only one who's ever been through this. Most competitors have been through it before. Talk to someone, get some help, and you'll be better off in the long run. So guys, I hope this video was informative. Please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more content similar to this. Thanks guys.